All right, this video is literally about my submitting proofs about how Josip Broz Tito, this man right here that you see, that's a president of the Socialist Federative Republic of Yugoslavia. This man right here that you see right here. This one right here that you see died in 1980. That's what was listed. That's what's listed as a date of his death. About this man right here. How this man right here that you see right there literally crowned me a communist socialist president from Federative Republic of Yugoslavia. Literally crowned me, literally made me a royalty. Literally. During audio recordings, and I'm certain Central Intelligence Agency has that. It's very, very often referred to me by people like Alexander Vucic. Like in a sense, why is it that you don't want us and this and that? We would give him and so on, but he doesn't want us and so on. This is what this is. Josip Broz Tito, a communist president of Federative Republic of Yugoslavia, who did not finish his MK Ultra case. This is the case, my case, which started at my age, 3 months of age. Watch the video about how it all started with the babies playing with one another. A game in which they measured the patience of the babies. Yeah, I describe everything about what was it when I was barely born, literally in diapers, with other babies in Belgrade. He did not manage to complete this case. He got upset with me more than on one occasion. Maybe he had to get upset. Sometimes he had to get upset also, whatever he wanted to. I resented him the most, play with the psychiatric hospitals and military installations. That was a bad stuff. And the question here is, next to the psychiatric institutions within the military installations, not only torture at military installations, the question here is, how much was this man actually compelled to do bad stuff? Something I cannot judge. But really interesting is the case I'm about to present you. That's quite a big thing if the guy like this does something that I understand. That's what I heard from the people. They talked about this stuff during MK Ultra. That Josip Broz Tito was literally laughing out of his grave on everybody. Pertaining to my case. He did not resolve this case, he did not finish the case, but he made a testament. He made a testament, and in this testament, so really, I don't know. In this testament, not only the Serbs, not only all kinds of people were pissed off with me, including his own family. After his death, maybe they had to be, I don't know, and I wasn't the same anymore either. So Josip Broz Tito made a hack, and the hack was such that he did not come out and say, hey man, this guy is this is an MK Ultra case and this and that. But what he did was, he made a testament, and in the testament he put his name on it. a good collection of the articles that foreign leaders gave me ended in the hands of Serbs stealing them, or even in the hands of Slovenian ex-communists. Josip Broz Tito was the head of the Communist Party in Yugoslavia. Right, so this is really, really, really even more unusual, even more irregular. But what he did, literally, he actually committed. Well, you're about to see what he did. And so in his testament, rather modest, I was told by the Serbs, that was a little thing. There was just a little thing when Yugoslavia was falling apart. It's nothing big. They had me in Belgrade when they were doing everything, when they were recounting whatever was property from whatever country and so on upon the end of Yugoslavia. One of the things that find itself on a testament dedicated to me with my name on it was this Chrysler New Yorker. This is a Chrysler, a New Yorker, to remind me obviously of the New York, Josip Broz Tito, New York, and Chrysler. So
50
Jugoslavica, novinar.
Mjesto u muzeju, ovaj kraj
let's see this video.
Jugoslavije bio je strastveni ljubitelj automobila.
Yeah, they tell that he's got a 290 cars in his collection, and out of those 290 cars, there was also this car that you're about to see, and this really happened was so my favorite car. Josip Broz Tito was asking me, which car do you like, which one do you like? He was showing me photos and cars and so on, and he would take right here and there whatever car. This definitely was my favorite car in his collection, and this rather modest gift, I'm gonna say, he placed on my name. This car, there was, I don't know, they say it's like 5 of them that was made in the world. Chrysler New Yorker.
Vezao ga je u Prnjavor. Od 98. leži u Štrpcima na imanju.
U Drvar, što će reći da ga je kupio 86. 7. 8. ne znam tačno reći.
Taj uljak je auto ostavio, rekavši tu mom rođaku da će auto da ostavi na 2 do 3 mjeseca. To se ote...
Akcijama. Milorad Mar, ima na imanju pored.
On je došao sa...
This one here, this is very, very unusual Chrysler New Yorker. Very, very unusual. There were 5 of these, I understand, made. And it's about the design. It's really strange, but yeah, I liked it like this. I mean, I had a tremendous sense for aesthetic as a baby. I started to develop this sense for aesthetic because of the people that were involved in this, because of all these royals, because of all these people. They were showing me all kinds of watches, cars, and so on. And I started to get my own perception about things. In the school, all of a sudden, I remember as a child, it was, you would go and buy a chewing gum or whatever. I don't even know what we were buying as a kids, but I remember all of a sudden they had this, they had a carts with the stickers, with the cars on them. Man, this sure was not a childhood in some communist country. When I think about the Casio, when I think about my own father, who used to also drive Chrysler. My father purchased Chrysler Simca in 1966 and sold one when I was just 2 years old, my mother told me yesterday. everything. Buyer, everybody was involved in MK Ultra. Everybody knew about this case. That's how the buyer who was involved in MK Ultra came to buy the car literally through MK Ultra. Literally found father. They literally found buyer to the father for the car. That's a singer here in Slovenia. It was not a childhood like in a regular communist country, I can tell you that. Adults were spoiled really with Casio and Seiko watches and with cars imported from the Italy and weird. I mean, you have a Ford Taunus driving around, neighbors right across the street here in apartment buildings. Those Yugo officers and police officers right in front of our house in these apartment buildings. It started to get fucking intensive between them with people didn't know anymore what the fuck they wanted. I just realized this was a very, very good country back in 1970s. They used to manufacture here these British cars, this Morris whatever, Rover whatever. I have to see that stuff yet. And then this Renault came and so on. So they had this shit here in the city of the Novo Mesto. A lot was happening to the Novo Mesto. Everything was happening here. Novo Mesto really was a New York, except the Novo Mesto was like this compared to the New York, like a flea compared to the New York. But it's a beautiful city, and with a case like this that went around the world like that, it was all kinds of people were coming here, and so, you know, this is where opportunities are happening. So MK Ultra, this is like, for the business people, this is a magnet. You know, there's no place better than to start business than if you have a guy like myself. You know, if you learn about the next individual like myself somewhere around the world, that's exactly where you would go to open your company, whatever you would start, because this is where the business people are going to keep coming. And if you're involved with a local government, you might have a chance to meet those people on the side, apart or next to your government, basically involving you very liberal negotiations and stuff that otherwise are not accessible. Your business is going to go like this. Just like this, like a rocket. Other people go like this, and likely like this. Your business, as long as this case is good, is gonna fly up like a rocket. Everybody knows it. This is the number one secret in a business, in doing business. This is the one nobody ever mentioned, I know. So, but what Josip Broz did was, you know, I remember the day in the Belgrade where, yeah, basically they were throwing away Josip Broz Tito's property, stealing it. They were stealing the property. They were stealing the property after the Josip Broz Tito's death. It didn't make any fucking sense to talk about anymore. If some foreign individual wanted to give me something and was confiscated, absolutely everything was confiscated by the Belgrade, it didn't make any sense to think or contemplate that something like this could be ever given back to you in your hands. That's stupid shit. Serbs were almost stealing my stuff, gifts given to me like this, like almost in front of my eyes. You know, as soon as we would go apart, they would make joke out of the stuff. So to think that something would be ever giving, no. Let's go to the video. Josip Broz Tito, this Chrysler, the person who purchased this car is from Slovenia. This person who came to purchase this car to Belgrade on an auction was accompanied by the Slovenian individual, and this Slovenian individual, who might have been even Milan Kučan, or might have been, I mean, the first people who had ability to steal this stuff, and you know, etc., etc. These were just the people that belonged to the ex-Yugoslav Communist Party, to the circles of this Belgrade people. And so what they did was they took this car. He said, you go, I want that car right there. And it was exactly the Chrysler which Josip Broz Tito placed on my this is also about the theft of not really identity, but it goes way beyond. Like Milan Kučan knows how to do this stuff really good with Milosevic and Karadzic and Mladic. All these masterminds, they really knew how to, you know, geniuses. I mean, MKH were geniuses. Luckily for me, because this is why I'm still alive. If you know, if they understood whom they dealt with, I wouldn't be alive no more. And so when they delivered me to the Belgrade, they inspected this car, saw this car. Which car do you want? Do you want this? Do you want that? I told them I don't want anything. I told them fuck you, fuck your Yugoslavia, fuck your Serbia. I want to get out of here, and so on. They tortured. Then this kind of questions they follow up with me, which was the usual thing. I didn't want to have nothing to do with them, with absolutely any of them. They then proceeded to tamper original evidence from Josip Broz Tito, really a testament where it was written that this car, in fact, next to some other things also, was my car, written literally under my name to be given to me. So what he did was he told a Slovenian guy here in Slovenia, which appears to be a Serbian guy from Prnjavor, but he lives in Slovenia. So this is a very, very good way for you also to see how they temper the stuff, how they steal identity, but this is more than identity, obviously, right? Prnjavor. Prnjavor. Somewhere here, yeah, like this. Somewhere here like this. They will be in Serbian part of Bosnia. Prnjavor. He purchased the car in Belgrade. Serbs would not give me this car. With the Slovenian communists, they made an agreement. This is Belgrade. They made an agreement, and they started to tamper the evidence. Belgrade, this one here. They tampered this evidence with idea to even no, not to recreate Yugoslavia through me, but to tamper the evidence about crime, about the genocide against me, committed against me under Yugoslavia even further. Well, yeah, they demanded for me to see myself in Serbian community over there. That's what they wanted. They wanted me to see myself in a Serbian, in a Bosnian Serbs, Republika Srpska. That's basically Dodik and all that. This is how you tamper the evidence. So the car, instead of going in my hands, went to the auction, and from the auction through Slovenia, the car went to this Serbian part of Bosnia right there. And then it was, the name of the song was Find Me If You Can. La 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 la, just like you're gonna hear right there in the video. Well, by Josip Broz committing something like this, some people stated they could hear him laughing literally from the grave. One of them was Borut Pahor, who claimed that Josip Broz fucked them by another one was Milosevic. So this is about minds, or maybe different in minds, might not be such a big. By instead of revealing this case, he contemplated on place his burden on the shoulders of Yugoslavia, of people, Socialist Republic of Yugoslavia. Josip Broz Tito absolutely knew that working class will not recognize anything like this. This was not about the working class. This was about he had a problem, Josip Broz, with this stuff, because it was a lot of Chinese communists that did not have problem with me even becoming a royal. The Chinese Communist Party leadership was so crazy about me that they started to support Thai monarchy from Thailand. They got an idea that they didn't know, they claimed that they didn't know what to do with me, and so it was like they were figuring out what to do with me, and they came out with the idea the best would be for me to be sent to Thailand, basically, to be with the Thai royal family and so on. Crazy stuff went on. But he was certainly knew that the Serbs, they're not going to reveal this stuff. Yet he committed, what do you want to say, this offense, or whatever he did, a joke he played very well until today. Today this joke is not a good joke. By literally by pointing out that this is a theft. You cannot go and commit something like this. If you commit something like this, that first of all, you put my name on something, and somebody that is deceased, died, somebody like a president, Josip Broz Tito. It's the biggest criminal offense. Forgery and everything else. Not to reveal the identity of the people to whom he left his oporuka testament, right? That's a very, very serious offense. That kind of offense automatically voids credibility of the people who were dealing with this type of items, credibility of the people who were entrusted this type of testament. He was legally elected as a president. He didn't have any kind of problems in the country. He never faced any kind of opposition, serious attempts to overthrow his government. He had absolute power in Yugoslavia, like probably more than a king, I would say. He had probably just as much power as king, if not even more. So what Serbs committed by literally taking the item that was written on my name, Serbs claimed later that they have a testament, that this is a testament, that there is a testament, a Kimbesino a testament, that there is not my name. They demonstrated a testament to Slovenian side in front of me, yet this is absolutely a lie, this testament. It's absolutely a lie, this testament. Or it might have been a separate testament, might have been something else. I had Serbs talking to me, I'm going to say even the paragraphs of this testament. There are names specified in this testament, yet there is one paragraph in this testament that suggests the possibility of also something else. And this something else, it was literally demonstrated to me, this testament I'm talking about right now, and Serbs know exactly what I'm talking about, never ever was revealed to anybody. Nobody in Yugoslavia had access to. Nobody anywhere, not in Slovenia, Croatia, or Bosnia, or they probably did have these top state people. They did have access to it, to this stuff. Because of this, they also had this museum here in Slovenia where they also have Josip Broz Tito cars, was involved in this. Serbs demanded also cars from them back to Belgrade, etc., etc. Nobody had fucking access about this stuff. So just by saying to you there is a paragraph that specifies possibility of also some other items and so on, not accountable for on his what we consider as a testament, but like a side testament, it's already declassification of classified files. Nobody ever revealed his testament. He mentions his daughters and so on, that kind of stuff, everything, but there is also a paragraph where it's exactly what I stated in his testament. His daughters fought, argued with me, etc., 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 that such thing does not exist. It's Josip Broz Tito. Children attacked me afterwards and so on. There is a strong possibility also that exists that this testament was rewritten, that Josip Broz might have even rewritten the original testament and so on. That kind of a stuff, right? So Serbs claim that there was a modest few things. They stated it was just this car and there was just a little something. From what I understand, from what I recall, this foreign people giving the gifts, this is actually very fucking expensive stuff that was given to Josip Broz Tito on my name, because I was not allowed to have it. This money is extremely modest compared to other money that played in the game. This is one of the reasons that I was not motivated. The main reason is, however, I didn't want to have nothing to do with the Serbs. This was the main reason. This money was like it's what they believe it's going to be like a trap back into the greater Serbian Chetnik state, Yugoslavia. And I didn't want to go now fucking there because of some rings and because of, you know, whatever. I want to go and, you know what I mean. So let's see this car. This car, everybody knew about this car. I told you about the Chrysler. Chrysler Corporation, Chrysler Company was a company that was totally MK Ultra company. All these companies, there's no need to say. The people in Detroit cried to me. They said, when I was a child, they told me, we just wish we had you here, you know, with us, that you were here with us. And I said, why would that be? They said, because with a kid like this, you go to the stars. They were the one, they explained me that the biggest problem they have is my being here in Yugoslavia. If I was there, everybody would be coming to them. It would be better for them in that sense. Chrysler was the first company, my first preferential company, because of its aggressive, stylish looking designs, cars. I like it. I also like this family, people who inherited this Chrysler. They treated me very well, but they committed a crime against me when I was just like, I don't know, I think I was already like 7 or 8 years of age. Wait a minute, 7 was the first grade. Yeah, about like 8th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, like 8 years of age. And the Serbian side had a tremendous problem with me. They had a tremendous problem with me because Americans especially went completely insane about me. I was like a kid, a child, that they could get anything they wanted. And I'm not talking about the Serbia here anymore, I'm talking about the Russia. Through me. Coming close to me, it was nothing was not accessible to the Serbs, to the Russians. Everything became accessible. So they went crazy, and Americans went completely insane because they smell where this whole thing is heading. Americans were completely insane. This Detroit, the General Motors manufacturer, United States of America, took a whole new turn with me. The first, they got the money, the federal money, all kinds of stuff for involvement in this case, because the one who ran this shit was a federal government. That was the US Congress and the White House. That's basically Central Intelligence Agency. So they saw some shit like this happening. So they released the money into circulation through the General Motors and so on. So now those jobs, people kept those jobs, money kept coming, new cars keep rolling out of the assembly lines, and it was like this all over the world, everywhere. The world started to breathe big time. Serbs, however, were losing mind. This is like a relation. Yeah, I'm not gonna disclose. I was thinking about yesterday about one individual from London, from Great Britannia, who I felt his personality was like 50% of it was completely crazy about me. He would absolutely childish, and another 50% wanted to choke me, like some kind of relationship between love and hate, like, but extreme, you know, like you have two extremes and you put this together and it's like atom, you know what I mean? That type of relationship. There was a lot of people like this. He was not the only one, but that makes things interesting that much more, no? And so Serbs who fucking hated Americans, they fucking hated Germans, they fucking hated Western people, including Italians. They observed me being like favored by Chrysler people, especially, and other companies, Chevrolet and all this, so much that it looked like, I mean, to me, it looked like jealousy, like a sick jealousy, like the people that will go with me, the Serbs, these were like the fucking sickest people in the world, I swear. Or they played like this, or they acted like this, so they wouldn't be suspicious to, I don't know, to their own people back home. I don't know what the fuck it was, but this was, some of it, this was fucking evil, real evil. And they did not know how the fuck to make me hate, to fuck them, destroy this relationship between me and American business people. And so what they do is they started to hire on the side these business people, whatever business people would do bad stuff to me, it would be success. And they got here and there maybe some Japanese, and then they got here and there maybe some Italian or French guy, whatever. Maybe they got even lucky with some German, who knows? When the Germans were not bad at all. And finally they even got lucky with a Chrysler, with some guy from the Chrysler, might have been the main guy, I don't know who these people were. I have to see the pictures of the people at Chrysler, like the top people, executives, so that I can tell who and this and that. And so this man did something stupid in front of Serbs, whatever, Slovenian, whatever, and he embarrassed me. Yo, if you embarrassed me, I place you on a dead list. I was a child, but they talk about embarrassment and this and that, you know. But I had a special kind of character. You would not even notice that when you embarrassed me and stuff like this, it would show on a long term, basically, the stuff you did, because eventually I would come after you during MK Ultra one way or the other. But I had a very bad habit, and this bad habit was that when they embarrassed me, these people from Chrysler, you know. Uh, just as an example, I curse them out. I send them to the motherfucker land, whatever, you know, fuck off. And once I told you to fuck off, you are out. If I told you that to fuck off, whatever, I would not want to deal with you anymore. It was like this, literally, that British royals have to foreclose the companies because I told the people to fuck off. Now you're gonna say that's crazy, that's insane. No. No. I was literally like a Roman emperor. If I told you, and I was a child, to fuck off, you are fucked out. Italians lost business companies and others lost business companies because I told them, you are the fuck out. British royals were the engine behind me. And if British royals, they learned, Charles and Andrew learned about this Serbian shit that went on and paid close attention to it. They realized that they are using certain business people to do bad stuff to me with idea to create altercation between me and also what become other businesses, entire Western Association. And before you know, when the Serbs started to do that stuff, there was a dozen of companies I told, you're out, fuck off. They literally, adult people, they destroy their businesses. No more money, no more financing, you are on your own. Soon it was. Or it's also a possibility they use business people to demonstrate Serbs. The British royals might have done that to demonstrate them, do not fuck with this boy, with this kid, because we will do this stuff like this, just like this, to get Serbian attention, basically. No, don't do this to him like this in that kind of sense. It was this kind of stuff also that went during MK Ultra. So you can't say that I don't remember about the stuff that went on in really, really great details, because I do. So this Chrysler people did something. This guy did something bad to me, and I got so pissed off. And yeah, if I told you fuck off, you are out. You are finished. That they had a problem with me, I kept sending them to the motherfucker land for like another 3 years. There was a really problem of getting me back, like, you know, like when you upload to the internet, it's like you hear, they couldn't establish anymore the signal. There was no, between us, there was just, you know, just hello, you know, yeah, hello, yeah, It was a major success for the Serbs because it was a Chrysler. And Chrysler car that I demonstrated you was the car that Josip Broz Tito would only take whenever I would be. It was not his preferred car, this Chrysler. This Chrysler was preferred car of Josip Broz Tito when I was a baby. He drove with this car a lot, but as the years passed, he would not drive with this Chrysler so much. In fact, he died in 1980, so Josip Broz Tito would spend a lot of time driving this Chrysler around, but till about my age, probably like maybe 1976 or something like that, you know. 1976, this is basically when I was like 4 years of age, you know. And then he would not drive this car so much anymore, and he would drive this car only on special occasions, whenever Even if I was there, he would not drive the car so much anymore, but he would still go with me like a reward, you know, and have a ride with this car. He would still go and give me the ride with his car, with his Chrysler 300. Now, Josip Broz Tito and I became so much alienated because of violence that went on during MK Ultra that I no longer even wanted to have a ride with that car anymore. This is how the two of us no longer were friends anymore. Unfortunately, Josip Broz Tito became involved in more and more bad stuff, I realized, and he no longer was, you know, like this with me. I realized that this man, it's always bad stuff happening next to him, and then I also caught him with the pants down, basically giving instructions to the Serbs what to do with me and so on. And then, you know, this is very bad. You know, if I got you like this doing stuff, this for you, this was just very bad. So I blacklisted Josip Broz Tito. Because of the violence that had going on, and it was time when I no longer would want to go and have a drive with this car. I must tell the whole thing as it was with this car, with this particular Chrysler, you know. There is other cars, you know. There is also Mercedeses and so on. Every car has a different story, but I pay attention in this video to this car for the reasons also, as I stated at the beginning of the video, without realizing. This is what some people claimed. This guy, Josip Broz Tito, crowned me and so on by creating a testament where he, you know, this car was sold through the auction in the Belgrade. I think it was Markovic, the man who handled this stuff. This was a Serbian economist who got his hands on these testaments, everything. There was stuff that they were rewriting these testaments. They did have him rewrite the testaments, and they did talk about also rewriting testaments during MK Ultra. And the last thing I know is exactly what I described you. Even Slovenian side came to the Belgrade. I was certain this was Milan Kučan personally, with Robert Golob, Borut Pahor and so on, but the main one was Milan Kučan and Robert Golob. Those are the two that worked together the most. Robert Golob was a personal deputy of Milan Kučan, and that's how he dealt indirectly with this Slovenian guy. He's actually a Serb who purchased the car on the auction, this Chrysler. And the rest of it, this is everything you can see in the video. Prnjavor, I demonstrated to you where the Prnjavor is. The Serbs claimed in this area, you know, I'm gonna go as I go in the video, you know, I'm just gonna cut short from these stories. They were offering me the car to video record themselves, how they were offering me the car, asking me where you're gonna go for the car, Yugoslavia, this and that. I just turned around and I told them, take me back to Slovenia. I don't know nothing about the car, and I don't want to know nothing about the car. This is the way it was during MK Ultra, in this Prnjavor, in this Republic Srpska. Hey, they committed so much violence that let's do this video.
Poštovani predsjednik Socijalističke federativne republike Jugoslavije bio je strastveni ljubitelj automobila. U kolekciji od 290 klasa.
Okay, so he had 290 cars in his collection. We're talking about Josip Broz Tito here. So this guy was like more powerful than many kings. I mean, this guy was Yeah, seriously wealthy guy.
Našao se i jedan poseban Chrysler New Yorker.
Da, ovaj poklon Titu.
This is a Chrysler, about the Chrysler New Yorker, and this was the gift to the Josip Broz Tito by John F. Kennedy. And this gift, with so many cars the Josip Broz Tito had, came to life after Josip Broz Tito demonstrated me which car do you want, which car do you like, and this was the car that I like. So this is where the two of us started to drive around with this car. Until like 1976, this car was a lot in the use. 1976, yeah, this car was in the use all the time, a lot in the use, and then it was reduced.
Od američkog predsjednika
Josip Broz Tito. Yeah, this car. I'm going to tell you more about this car. I'm going to tell you about how Josip Broz Tito and myself as a child about the stuff. Josip Broz Tito and I talked to one another. Josip Broz Tito told me the way he wanted me to make a selection. He was playing with these photos, sitting with me, which one do you like, and this and that. And the same shit was with everything else, with the watches and so on, and also with the women too. Josip Broz Tito said, which one do you like? Which one do you like? And I said this one, And this was one of the two of my favorite cars. Another one, I think it was like a Cadillac, whatever, right? And Josip Broz Tito, this was one of the Josip Broz Tito, that's what Josip Broz Tito claimed me, personal. He stated to me that this was one of his favorite cars too. This was one of his top 5 cars. Out of all the cars he had, this was one of the top 5 cars. So I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Maybe he made me like this car. I do not know. I just say I like the design of the car and that kind of stuff.
Johna Kennedyja nalazi se u fazi onakom kakvom se nalazila Jugoslavija nakon
The guy says the shape of this car is in about exactly the same shape as Yugoslavia was upon fall of the Yugoslavia. And in continuation, you're going to see the guy who is talking on the camera. And there was a lot of torture that went on in this village. This guy whom you're going to see on the picture later in the video, he told me the car is going to be destroyed. The car was delivered over there like new, in a really good condition, not exactly new, not. No, I'm going to give you all the explanation you need to know. And so there is lies. No, they don't tell everything in the video. They are lying also. But I was guaranteed, Slovenian guy, the Serb from Slovenia, continued to use this car. This car was in the use. They use this car a lot. Still they use the car. You're going to hear they even change the engine in the car. They put another engine from Mercedes inside. They talk a lot of blah, 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 blah. I continue to drive with that car with the guy from Slovenia. It's a lot of lies about this car. But I was told this car is going to rotten here and so on, like in Yugoslavia and so on. I told them, yes, good. And they told me, no, it's going to be you who will rotten with this car, and it's going to be you who's going to look like this car. Yugoslavia will continue to go on and this and that. Serbia, and so on. This is not really friendly.
Tito've smrti, dakle, u fazi raspadanja.
Oh yeah, he claims, yeah, it's a stage of decay. That's the condition of the car. Let's do this again.
Onakom kakvom se nalazila Jugoslavija nakon Titove smrti, dakle
the car is in exactly the same shape as Yugoslavia was upon the death of the Josip Broz Tito. So it's like a video for the Jugo-nostalgics people.
Fazi raspadanja. Automobil je u selu Štrpci u blizini Prnjavora.
They said village Štrpci. Štrpci, blizina Prnjavora. Let's see this here. This is a very, very small village from what I recall. Might not even be on the map, I think. No, actually, they did put one on the map. I think about 12 kilometers. Not really, but maybe really. Aha, Donji Štrpci. This is Štrpci, there you go. How much is that? Yeah, just about maybe really 12 kilometers, huh? Donji Štrpci, there you go. There you go. Donji Štrpci, okay. There you go. If I tell you all these people involved in MKH, I'm probably not lying to you. This is a big case. This is the biggest case the world have ever witnessed to. Definitely a legal case. And much more.
Sve detalje kako je tu dospio i ko je novi vlasnik.
And they say we have all details how this car arrived here and so on and so forth.
Automobila zna naša koleginica, novinarka Jelena Žukljan.
Kennedy prima jugoslovenskog predsjednika u 10-dnevnu nezvaničnu posjetu.
Iako je glavna kolekcija Titovih vozila 1986. godine otišla u Sloveniju u njihov tehnički muzej.
Just a moment.
Nezvaničnu posjetu.
Iako je glavna
Kennedy prima jugoslovenskog predsjednika u 10-dnevnu nezvaničnu posjetu.
Iako je glavna kolekcija Titovih vozila
I don't know, there was a 10-day visit of Josip Broz Tito. I have to see that. And appears that this is when this was given to Josip Broz Tito, during the 10-day visit. I don't know, was it John F. Kennedy? I think it was Josip Broz Tito, right? That visited Josip Broz Tito, spent a lot of time in New York. Josip Broz Tito, 10-day visit, John Kennedy. John Kennedy. Toast of President Tito, 17 October 1963. President John F. Kennedy and President of Yugoslavia, Josip Broz Tito. So this is what this would be. This car was given to Josip Broz Tito.
President Kennedy welcomes a man to the White House who has succeeded in keeping his foot in both the communist and Western camps. He's receiving President Tito of Yugoslavia, who is in the United States for a 10-day informal visit. Tito was booed by the West when he broke with Russia in 1948, but he has returned closer to Moscow since then.
1963.
Now it's his turn to ingratiate himself with Western powers. Though this is not a state visit, the dictator is given the 21-gun red carpet treatment.
So this is when he must have got that car.
Yugoslavia is probably the most prosperous of the communist nations, and $2.5 billion from the United States did much to prime the pump. The president's sister, Mrs. Eunice Shriver, is official hostess to the Marshal and Mrs. Tito at a luncheon that precedes informal talks between the two heads of state.
Josip Broz Tito got $2.5 billion. So that car that you see right there, he took $2.5 billion back to Yugoslavia right there, alone. So, you know, that car right there, nobody talked about that car when he was given that car. That's a beautiful gift, though.
International politics makes strange bedfellows.
This sad news has struck me as the more as I have had recently an opportunity to talk cordially with the President Kennedy and reassure myself through the direct contact that he was deeply aware of the need of preserving world peace and of settling international issues in...
Okay, so I am gonna stop here. You can hear him talking to me in English language, Josip Broz Tito. There you go. $2.5 billion for a federation and a Chrysler into his pocket. That was worth visit to United States. Let's continue with this video. Workers have no reason to protest.
1986. godine otišao u Sloveniju u njihov tehnički.
They say it was 1986. A lot of cars went to the Slovenia to the museum. This car, this Chrysler, obviously it's a 1963 Chrysler New Yorker. You're not gonna see one as such. 1963 Chrysler New Yorker. There you go. Americans didn't even know about this car. But I was told by Americans that I have the best taste ever. That Americans, what driving me with the museum car, like the one you see right there, in the New York. Sometimes I don't know, maybe I don't know which president was that was taking the museum piece on a ride through the New York. I have to think about that stuff. But later, you know, they analyzed everything. Central Intelligence Agency analyzed everything. They told me, man, you have a poisonous, you know, the way you select, you always select the stuff that is quite very, very different. And this is what I liked always. I didn't want, you know, the plagiat, the plagiatur, stuff like this. If I wanted to create something, I just didn't want. The first thing that I wanted is I didn't want to look like other people have done it before me. If I wanted to do something, I wanted to do something that's absolutely that is different, so that there would be no claims that, you know, that I copied from somebody and so on. And it's got to be really, really good. I had people at Audi Corporation claiming me that an Audi is extremely perfection, you know. That's why I'm using Audi, right? And I had people at Audi Corporation, and I'm not because it would be something wrong with me, like a top of the line engineers, designers, begging me literally to not disclose certain issues. One issue that pertains to one of my favorite designs. They're all very, I don't have nothing against Audi designs. For instance, they were asking me to please be quiet about Audi A3 interior. What started with ridiculing me by the Audi engineers during MK Ultra for, I don't know, 5 more years. It ended literally with the Audi engineers begging me to keep silent about Audi A3 interior. But yeah, but I would like that stuff to be fixed, and they already know what. It's about the air vents. The air vents are not properly placed in the Audi A3. I don't even know what the new one looks like inside. I probably don't like it. It's the old one that I like it. But the Audi A3 is a copy of a Ferrari interior, talking about the vents, the round vents, do not fit with. It's a different type of dashboard interior on the Ferrari. It's straight, on the Audi is round. If it's around, you cannot have air vents up, then you have to, it's okay to have the same air vents, but you have to make sure that those air vents are in line, you know, just the air vents that are designed in such a way that I'm not going to say exactly like in Ferrari, but I don't think it costs so much to do it the right way. All right, that's all there is to it. I love the Audi A3, such a small car. Prince Charles, no, King Charles, realized also that actually it's a good car. He also started to like that car because of my idea, and had some employee over there. They were playing with him. He started to play with this car, Audi A3, because of me, and then one employee purchased the car, and they started to play with him when he was waiting for me to be delivered to him. Instead, whenever they would deliver me to him, and that employee would come around with his car, who was also involved in this, he purchased this kind of Audi A3 and started to play with him. And so every time when he saw this car, he was reminded of me. And even when I was not there, they started to mess with him with this Audi A3 and stuff like this. It was all kinds of stuff that went on. But this here, let's go back to the stuff. It is too much stuff to talk about. We're not going to be doing this stuff. This is a Chrysler. You have to admit, it's exceptionally good looking car. I mean, this is a really good looking car. I mean, out of all these Chryslers that you see right there, New Yorkers, you have to admit that this is the best looking one. Well, unfortunately, there were only 5 of this made in the world ever. And this one would not get me anywhere. I would not get into this one here. No. So that kind of stuff.
Tehnički muzej, mnogo je vozila prodano na aukcijama.
Many cars are sold on the auctions. Yes, but only upon the end of the Yugoslavia.
I umjesto u muzeju, ovaj Chrysler završio je svuda i nigdje.
This, instead of inside of the museum, this Chrysler ended everywhere and nowhere. So you can see this Serbian TV. It says right there, Bileća, and gives the temperature, whatever. I have to see which. This is RTRS, Radio Televizija Serbia, I think, something like that. Radio Televizija Republika Srpska. Yeah. It says PTPC, but this is in the Cyrillic language. So it's RTRS, Radio Televizija Republika Srpska. Bosnian Federation, Serbian part of Bosnian Federation TV, public TV, state TV. They say the car ended everywhere and nowhere, and it's exactly according to MK Ultra's scenario. When they were doing the video about this, these people had me. Not only these people, but also other journalists that were doing a reportage, filming of this piece, and they were brainwashing me during MK Ultra, just like you. Ha ha ha. You are everywhere around the world, but nobody knows for you, the psychiatric hospital. You, ha ha, falling apart like this car. Your car. Yeah? So this is more than a theft of identity. This is the theft of identity the Serbian way, the genocidal way. Yeah? So you understand my feelings for the Serbia, that this is not You know, I am humane. They claim that I was an alien. No, I'm humane. But they are completely out of this world. Somebody is not okay on this picture, but I am okay. That other party is definitely not okay.
Ovaj Chrysler završio je svuda I nigdje.
This Chrysler ended everywhere and nowhere. The Serbs, as I told you when I was like 8 years old, when I got into the fight with the Chrysler people, they were thrilled. They were just absorbed, thrilled with the potential of creating problems, of creating discord between me and Western people. In fact, this case, the toxicity of this case, the violence was dictated by the Serbs and by the Russians with the idea to create toxic, as much as toxic, such a relationship through certain people, between me. Unfortunately, upon the fall of the Soviet Union, even before that, British royals completely aligned themselves with the Serbs and with the Russians. And that special relationship I was talking to you about earlier, how they demonstrated Serbs not to fuck with me, ended prematurely with entire world siding with the Serbs and with the Russians against me. Just so you can see the stuff that's taken throughout Ukraine. Now it's coming into the third year. Yeah, they were simply thrilled. They were simply, I don't know some other words that I have in my head, in my language right now. Absorbed with potential of causing, a feeling of vendetta in me. Need for retaliation against the West. You know what I mean? And this is why they were doing this kind of stuff. Unfortunately, Americans, Central Intelligence Agency, British, and even what became Germans, with everybody else in between, Italians, Spaniards, French, they stepped in the shoes of Russians, Serbs, and started to see themselves through their eyes against me. So I was really, really left out and cold, forgotten. Much worse than this Chrysler here. This one was not this place here that you see. It's a very beautiful place. This is just park right there. When it's sunny, it's sunny. When it's cold, it's cold. And in this idyllic place, it's falling apart. Sure, it's falling apart. Every one of us is going to fall apart at one point in time.
Milorad Maksić auto koji je kupio u Beogradu odvezao je u drva.
Milorad Maksić, he bought one in Belgrade on the auction.
A tokom rata Beogradu odvezao je u Drvar, a tokom rata
and took one to the Drvar. He bought this car and drove this to the Drvar.
Njegov sestrić Jelinko prevezao ga je u Prnjavor.
And then his sestrić, I don't know what a sestrić is. I don't know the meaning of that word. I don't know what that is. Sestra in Slovenian means a sister, but what the sestrić means in the Serbian language, I really do not know. In Slovenian we say brat, brother, but in the Serbian, I don't know. I think they also say brat. What is the sestrić? I have no fucking idea what that is.
Od 98. leži u Štrpcima.
Now they hallucinate that since 98 the car is just like this, dumped right there.
Na imanju porodice Čavić.
Yeah, somewhere.
Izložen vremenskim
They explain the family Čarić, yeah.
Prilikama.
On je došao sa tim vozom negdje 89. 90. u Drvar, što će reći da ga je u Drvar.
His name is Jelenko Maric. Let's do this again.
Vozom negdje 89. 90. u Drvar.
In 89 and 90, this car came to Drvar. This was before the the war commenced. And I made a mistake when I stated that it was upon the end of the Yugoslavia that the Josip Broz Tito items went on auction. No, that's not true. They auctioned things already before that. Serbs did that. Serbs were stealing the things, the federal property. No, hold on. That was a big mistake, big stupid stuff I have stated here. The Serbs were regularly stealing the stuff, auctioning very fucked up stuff. You know, Federation of the Republics, and nobody knows what the fuck goes on other than Serbs selling the stuff from Josip Broz Tito, completely become completely unaccountable for, fucking disappears from. Slovenian side accounted even for some items they were asking. The last time we've seen this and that and so on, and now it's no longer here. Where is it? And stuff like this. This is the shit. Yugoslavia. Joke, serious joke. This car supposedly came in 89, 90 to the Drvar, yeah, to Bosnian region of Serbs.
Što će reći da ga je kupio 86. 7. 8. ne znam.
He purchased one in 86 and 87.
Tačno reći.
Taj ujak je
in an auction in Belgrade.
auto ostavio, rekavši tu mom rođaku da će auto da ostavi na 2.
That's like 4 years before the war broke out on Balkans, you know, 4 years before the end of Yugoslavia. He said he's going to leave this to what? To his relative or something?
Do 3 mjeseca.
For 3 months?
To se oteglo, da tako kažem, i auto i dan danas je tu.
Nothing ever happened since 1990, and the car is here. No, this is not true. The car still was making a mileage. The car still occasionally would go on the trip, because I was driven with a car with this individual. Now that there is a problem with this man. He drove, I think, Mercedes. Did he have Mercedes here in Slovenia? Let me see that stuff. And that was extremely comfortable car as well. So let's see this stuff as well here. Let's see this again. Because this is a little bit of the MK Ultra. I have to be very careful so that I grab.
Kupio 86. 7. 8. ne znam tačno reći.
Taj ujak je auto ostavio, rekavši tu mom rođaku da će auto da ostavi na 2 do 3 mjeseca. To se oteglo, da tako kažem, i auto i dan danas je tu.
Yeah, I think I missed the most important part.
Neprilikama.
On je došao sa tim vozom negdje 89. 90. u Drvar, što će reći da ga je kupio 86. 7. 8. ne znam tačno reći.
Taj ujak je auto ostavio, rekavši tu mom rođaku da će auto da ostavi na 2 do 3 mjeseca. To se oteglo, da tako kažem, i auto i dan danas je tu.
The two, Mr. Pero Pets and I don't know what, I didn't catch his name, Jelenko Maric, this was the relative from Mr. Pets, from this man here. He left, he said he's just gonna, to his uncle, he said, I'm gonna leave the car here for 3 months, and then he never came back. And the car was parked right there, and the car started to rotten under the sun since 1990. Yeah, the car started to rotten with acceleration, but the car was still driven here and then, very seldomly. But yeah, they would still drive themselves. You know, he knows it. He was driving himself with his car. They were driving themselves around with his car here and there. They were still playing with his car. When the TV and everything would go away, you know, they would still start the car and drive around and so on. So I don't know. That's all I can say. But his uncle from Slovenia, he did have Mercedes. That was another comfortable Mercedes. I mean, this is not Mercedes. He liked cars big and comfortable.
Tu mom rođaku da će auto da ostavi na 2 do 3 mjeseca. To se oteglo, da tako kažem, i auto i dan danas je tu.
Josip Broz Tito bio je cijenjen u...
This, just like in every MK Ultra case, every fucking case, but the two people that was selected to go on the TV because they were the most normal people. There was so much violence here, and this was everywhere, always the same shit. If it was not violence, it would be the entire community, you would see. But if there was a lot of violence, this is just during MK Ultra. In post MK Ultra, the only thing you would see like their delegates. It's just like they literally became like this group of people. It's kind of hilarious. I mean, they would organize themselves in everywhere around the world, from Japan to United States to whatever country. All of a sudden, out of group of hundreds or maybe 1,000 people involved in it, there would be few people that they would always not involve in violence, and then they would use those like their politicians, like their ambassadors for the case. And that's what the media would go, the state media would go and, you know, yes, and so on, and they put them on a TV, basically advertise this stuff so that I could identify them. Hello.
Da će auto da ostavi na 2 do 3 mjeseca. To se oteglo, da tako kažem, i auto i dan danas je tu.
You can see right there. Let me see that. Yeah, this is who is that? What's that?
Josip Broz Tito bio je cijenjen u svjetskim državničkim krugovima.
Is that
Tito su
Philip or
poklonjene
what?
procjenjive istorijske
That's a
i
Philip.
umjetničke vrijednosti
Hey, look at that, that's a Philip right there.
Elizabeta II, iranski šah Reza Pahlavi, grčki kralj Pavle, kambodžanski princ Norodom Sihanouk, etiopijski car Haile Selassie, ali i brojni drugi. Početkom 60-ih
Yeah, they talk about all these people whom Josip Broz Tito would meet from around the world.
Prošlog vijeka iz pogona američkog giganta Chryslera izašao je New Yorker
We already did go through this.
nekoliko primjeraka. Izašao je New Yorker izrađen u svega nekoliko primjeraka. Poklon američkog predsjednika Johna Kennedyja.
Gift from Kennedy.
Čovjek iz Banja Luke sa jednim Italijanom koji je preko oldtimera. To je fini radi i rekao da je ovo jedno od 6 vozila u svijetu kojih.
The Italian guy came for a visit and stated this is just one out of the 6 cars in the world. You know, it might have been Joe Biden who was driving with this car, museum piece, throughout the New York with me inside. Let's see this stuff. So this Italian liked this car, and he said it's just 6 cars like this in the world. So this is a custom-made Chrysler.
Seri.
Tih ratnih 90-ih godina automobil je bio atrakcija za mještane Prnjaka.
Yeah, this car is really crazy, isn't it? I mean, you know, even for the standards of today, when compared to those models from the past, you can say this car would even today, this car would still be reasonable. If you would manufacture a new car like this, a car like this would definitely get buyers. For today's standards, I would say that this would be like a classic, American classic, probably the best ever looking American classic, in my opinion. Like a hotshot car, old classic and stuff like this. You would want to have it like that. I don't think they ever made anything like this. Okay, enough of this.
Javora i Štrbaca.
Djeca su tu volila da se provoze u tom autu.
There you go. The children loved it. That's what I was talking about. The children were driving around with this car. Okay, so that means they loaded children inside of the car. They always waited for the camera crews to go away, and then they started to play with the car. And then they park one back. This car was moving around.
I tu komšija. To je bila atrakcija za djecu.
Navikli su ljudi na tadašnje i Golfove, i Lade, i Fiat, međutim kad se ovo vozilo pojavilo još u mraku, svi su na serveri.
He is talking about, how this car appeared in the dawn at night. He reminded me of craziness that went on, violence and stuff, and then all of a sudden they would deliver me, and it would be this car that would come. That's what he's doing. He's reminded of MK Ultra. So these people wanted my attention here today.
Bunar, evo. Čak što više, pomisli se da tank ide jer je otpao auspuh u međuvremenu u Prnjavaru, pa je tutnjalo vozilo. Ali poslije se navikli svi na vozilo.
Posljednji put registrovan je u Bijeljini.
They said that the car was registered somewhere. Milan Kučan stated that he selected this car to remind me of Josip Broz Tito in New York. Yeah, you just watch the beginning of this video. I explain absolutely everything. Forgery is a forgery. It did not work this time. It did not work. Don't worry about the New York.
Papire registrovano je, u Drvaru je bilo registrovano znači tih 90. godina, 91. i druga. Ja sam...
The car was still registered in 91 and in 92 in Drvar, so the car was still registered, if you understand me what I'm saying.
Vozio je registrovano stanje, dovezio sam ga u Prnjavor, registrovano je i 98. 9. do 2000. mislim čak da je bilo registrovano.
The car was registered even up to 2000, and he always had me with him whenever he registered the car. So, do you understand when I said that the car was still driving around and stuff?
Chryslera, koga je vozio Tito zajedno sa ostalim poklonima, zavištao je državi, pa je prešao u vlasništvo gardijske brigade koja ga je nakon njegove smrti prodala.
Just a moment.
Sa ostalim poklonima zavištao je državi, pa je prešao u vlasništvo gardijske brigade koja ga je nakon njegove smrti prodala.
Josip Broz Tito gave the car to the state, and it came into the possession of some kind of guard.
Do 2000. mislim čak da je bilo registrovano.
Chryslera, koga je vozio Tito zajedno sa ostalim poklonima, zavištao je državi, pa je prešao u vlasništvo gardijske brigade koja ga je nakon njegove smrti prodala.
Gardijska brigada, which sold one after his death. It was the state, Josip Broz Tito gave it to the state. Yeah. Josip Broz and the Josip Broz Tito was Slobodan Milošević already for a very, very long time. Josip Broz Tito was his name was Slobodan Milošević. I already explained all about those videos in the videos. I'm not going to get into this.
Vlasnik Kupac originalni motor zbog rentabilnosti zamijenio je Mercedesovim.
The buyer, the purchaser, the original engine replaced with the engine of Mercedes.
Ostavio je vozilo u Štrbcima, ali ne i kontakt.
He left the car in here and not his contact.
Tada se ne javlja, a sve papire u
He does not return the calls, nothing.
kupoprodaji ponio je sa sobom, pa je
He took all the paperwork, everything. He has it with him, everything, so the car cannot be sold.
ovo vozilo van prometa, iako je mnogo zainteresovanih.
And so this, despite numerous people being interested in one, this car continues to rotten right there. Not for sale.
To je otišlo sa njim u Sloveniju,
He is in Slovenia.
u Sloveniji, kontakt nemamo.
We don't have any contact. He is from Slovenia.
Znači sve te radnje oko prodaje ja ne mogu ništa odraditi gdje se
There is nothing I can do about the sale contract,
ujaka.
about my uncle. Nothing I can do. So this is basically how the Serbian theft works. This is for me personally. This is just fascinating the way they lie. I mean, these people are maybe genetically modified people, something like this. I mean, these psychopathic liars. I mean, their DNA. I mean, what is wrong with the DNA? I mean, you can't but fucking ask yourself, what's going on with these people? You can't but ask yourself, how much hatred is inside of this car? I mean, wow. The car, you're going to hear worth 100,000 euros. He's going to say somebody offered 100,000 euros. And this was during MK Ultra. We will continue to watch him because to rotten completely fall apart reminds of how you will rotten away without assistance, medical assistance. To remind you when you will be watching this video of what will be done with you together with this car. This Chetnikoslav Chetnik, this animal that you see right there, he was the one who told me that I'm gonna rotten away just like this car together with the car. And then it's this Serbian, upright position. We don't sell one not even for 100,000. Yeah. So you see that these people have a dignity, right? They have a spine. They have a spine and they have a dignity. I am gonna stop here because this is so much hatred from my point of view. It's just so much hatred that anything I would say, what I have to say about this would be a trouble for me, a legal problem. I mean, it's not worth it.
Provoze u tom autu i tu.
Auto ima regularne papire i registrovano je, u Drvaru je bilo registrovano znači tih 90. godina, 91. je druga, ja sam ga vozio registrovano.
Mnogo zainteresovanih.
To je otišlo sa njim u Sloveniju, ujak je u Sloveniji. Znači sve te radnje oko prodaje ja ne mogu ništa odraditi bez saglasnosti svog ujaka.
Niti možete šta dirati na to?
Da, upravo tako.
Iako automobil nije na prodaju, mnogi žele da ga vide u svojoj garaži i nudi velike iznose novca. Posljednja ponuda iznosila je 100.000 evra, a nezvanično saznajemo da Amerikanci nude i mnogo više, jer njima je...
The last offer was for 100,000 euros, and they learned that Americans who visited offered even more money because their presidents to them are so special.
Sve što se dovodi u vezu sa njihovim...
Anything that is that concerns their presidents is of a much bigger value.
Predsjednikom sveto i nema cijenu.
It's actually whatever concerns their presidents, you know, that's how Americans are better. Whatever is that concerns their presidents, it's not for sale. It's a holiness. It's a saint. It's so special that doesn't even have. It's priceless, basically. That's why Americans wanted to pay even more for this car, is what they claim.
A ako je gospodin Maksić vidio ovu priču, krajnje je vrijeme da riješi pitanje Chryslera dok vrijeme nije uništilo i ovo što je ostalo.
And if Mr. Maric, obviously from Slovenia, saw this story, it's about a time he also solves this case before the time will destroy even whatever is left out of this car. Now this video was recorded in 10 years ago. In meanwhile, the Milan Kuchan did have me already again in this village and so on, and I think they took care of this car. Now it's 2025. They might have just taken care of this car, like the car probably no longer is there. Now I say probably about it in 2016, the Slovenian side delegation, Robert Golob, went there and they resolved the problem. So this is just an old video right there that's still on the internet, and that's all there is to it. Of course I was again cursed, promised death, and not difficult to tell, you know, because of this poisoning and stuff that went on, who wanted to accomplish what, and so what I'm gonna say to you, you're mentally ill motherfuckers. You're sick. You're mentally ill motherfuckers. With your presence today, in 2025, and for the last 53 years since I came to this world, there is actually no proof that something was wrong with Adolf Hitler because of your conduct. You are so fucking crazy that there is actually a possibility that made Adolf Hitler do stuff he did. Actually, Germans, because of the type of the conduct you continue to maintain even in 2025. That's how fucking insane you are. That's all I'm gonna say for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Till next time. Hitler was terribly, terribly wrong at the stuff what he did. Unfortunately, it was numerous innocent people that pay for it. And that's why I think advocating Serbian and Russian crime is the biggest crime against humanity one can commit. You might not be participating in a war in Ukraine, defending Ukraine, but standing up to this absolute evil, standing up to this absolute Serbian evil on every step of the way and smash and squash one is a must for humanity if one wants to survive. It's absolute evil. But it's understandable, it must be understandable about who made this evil, where the fuck this evil came from. They had problems. There always was a problems in this part of the world, and also in other parts of the world, in Europe I should say. It was always all kinds of problems, and you know, it makes questionable the whole thing. Why is it, you know, that things went so much out of the hand? These people definitely are not innocent. They absolutely are not innocent.